Hi, I'm Jen. This is Fate 40 and Beyond, the space for women in their 40s who want honest conversation, spiritual clarity, and a few laughs while they figure life out. Let's dive in. Today, I have Suzanne with me, who I have known, gosh, it's been like 3 years, I'm
Yeah,
guessing, somewhere around there.
wow.
And I learned very quickly that we were a lot more than just like client reader. We
Right.
have so much in common. This is a very special episode because you were the one that inspired this idea for the podcast. And I
Aw,
don't think
thanks.
intentionally, it just
No.
happened because between you and I, when we get talking, there's so much insight and wisdom that just starts flowing. That's what I wanted to bottle up and share with the world. And
Mhm.
so
I
go
love
ahead and
that.
tell me a little bit about yourself. I'm really excited you're here.
Yeah, so I'm Suzanne. I live in West Kentucky. I'm a massage therapist, a Reiki master teacher. I also do something called integrated energy therapy. I do sound healing with sound bowls, all kinds of cool holistic stuff. I'm recently kind of accidentally discovering that I'm a bit of a touch psychic,
Oh,
which is pretty neat. I've always been pretty claircognizant, but that's just kind of starting to grow more lately. So yeah, I live in a rural area on my family's farm, and we have lots of pets. Nothing is ever harmed in any way. So we have lots of critters here that bring us joy and bring us mindfulness, and kind of takes away from the distractions of the everyday world.
a little bit of a slower pace.
Yeah.
I think it was a couple weeks ago, there was like a dusting of snow and you posted a picture of the farm and the snow, and I was like, "Oh, I love that." I don't think I could ever do that full time
Hmm.
because I'm not quite a city girl, but also I don't like being out in the dirt. I'm very much a suburban girl, like, put me in the neighborhoods and Publix across the street and I'm good.
I think I'm pretty, I don't know, I guess I'm just lucky in that or blessed in that I am kind of multifaceted. Like, I love to go to St. Louis and see my best friend and hang out in the city and do all the fun stuff and
Yeah.
go to Nashville, listen to music, things like that. But then I, also love being here at home where it's quiet and kind of some recharge time. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's huge. I will say, if I could be a little bit more rural, that'd be nice. It's like Atlanta creeps out, and it's been creeping and it's been creeping, and
Yeah.
now I hear sirens all day and I hear
Uh,
traffic, and that's not where I wanted to live, but now I don't want to move either, so we're staying where we're at. Like, looking for a house and moving, packing, none of that is in my future right now.
no.
Oh, so I think the last reading we did was a few months ago, September,
Hmm.
October, November, December, 4 months ago,
Yeah.
because I started this whole adventure in September
Yeah.
and it kind of died away for a little bit and then it came back and now I'm like trying so hard just to push forward and get it to birth it.
Yeah.
Feels like it's taken forever.
I completely feel that, and I'm think and in the reading, we'll see kinda how it comes out, but I've been in a very similar boat this whole 2025, I feel like, trying to birth something that has just been, like, pulling teeth, as they say, trying to get this thing going, and I'm like, "Okay, universe, am I not supposed to do it, and you're blocking me and protecting me, or is
Right.
this something that it's just not time?" Or because I feel like it's the right thing, but I just it's been a struggle bus.
Okay. Yes, let's see, let's see. You also mentioned there might be a romantic interest going on right now in your life.
Yeah, yeah, he kind of I've known him off and on for a year or 2, but just kind of recently came back into the picture about a month, 6 weeks ago,
Oh,
and,
wow.
yeah, and so it's just been really nice. He's unlike anything I've ever met, super steady and consistent, and
Well, the very first card is showing me that there's this healing energy between you guys. He's
yeah,
healing some stuff for you, you're healing some stuff for him.
right.
It's kind of like this reciprocating energy back and forth, but it looks very gentle. Like it's
Yeah,
there's so there's some things that we can't heal or work on until we're in that relationship. Like, we can do
yeah,
all the work on ourselves, but
yeah,
when we don't have someone mirroring us back, like
yeah,
our flaws or our deficits in some way, if we don't have someone there to, like, answer to those,
right.
then we can't work on them, right?
Yeah.
For me, some of that stuff is very high energy, and I would say, like, aggressive. I go from 0 to 60 very fast sometimes, and it's the little stuff, like,
Yeah.
really the little stuff that I'm what was it? Something the other day, and I was just like I had to walk away just because if I don't, I'm gonna snap. This is and it was something so dumb. Mug left on the counter or, like, just
Right.
so insignificant. And but this feels so different than that. It feels very gentle,
Mhm.
very, like, I'm recognizing this and I can carry on with it. Now we're both do you guys talk things through every time something comes up like that?
Oh, yeah. He is a counselor. So
Oh,
he's
nice.
very, like, very emotionally mature, very good with his words, like, and because my background is also that, and then in doing what I do now too, it just makes us communicate very, very well, and be very open and honest with each other, and so that's been really, really good.
I love that. That makes total sense because it does feel almost analytical. Like, what's going on here? Like, why is this it's so funny, but it feels good. I really like that energy that's coming through for that. We'll see what else unfolds.
Yeah.
You also mentioned a project of sorts or like a concept that you wanted to put out
Mhm.
into the world. It does feel like you're right on the verge of that. Just you could tip over at any second and it can just start to happen.
Yeah.
It also feels like it was too early. Like there was a hard push for it, but it was like, "Hold on, wait." It's like 2 doors that someone's trying to, like, burst through, and you're like, "Hold on, keep them closed." Because it feels like the momentum is there,
Yeah.
and the energy, the passion for it, the thought process, it feels like you have all the details in place.
Mhm.
It's just waiting for that right time. So that right time is coming up. January keeps coming up. I don't know if it's because it's the new year or
Yeah.
I don't I don't know. We'll see how that plays out too. It does feel very no, that I was gonna say that feels very emotionally fulfilling, but I would say all aspects of your life right now feel very emotionally fulfilling.
Yeah.
It's almost like this sense of, I don't wanna say, like, contentment and, like, everything's hunky dory and you're just kinda, like, moving through life thinking that it's all fixed. It doesn't feel
Right.
like that. I also feel this little tiny squeak in the back of your head of, "When is it gonna fall apart?" Or, like,
Oh, yeah.
just waiting for that other shoe to drop. But I do get the sense that you kinda, like, shoo it away every time it pops up. "Let
Yeah.
me enjoy this. Like,
Yeah.
I deserve this. Give me this time to enjoy this."
That's literally something my therapist and I talk about pretty regular is bringing myself into the moment, focusing how happy I'm in this moment. And in this moment, I'm safe. In this moment, I am happy. In this moment, things are good. And in the next moment, if it's not, well, then I'll deal with it, like
Right.
whatever it is. And that
Yes.
is something I constantly have to like bring my attention back to is it's okay. Like just be happy right now. And if it all goes to crap, then it just does and you'll deal with it. You've done it before. This is not, this is life.
Yeah. It's interesting to me that I can jump to worst case scenario anytime in my head. I always say that I hurt my own feelings more than anyone else does because I
Yes.
play
Oh,
out
so
these
true.
right? Like, I play out these scenarios, and I get angry. The other day, Kyle was in bed next to me watching TV, and I'm scrolling on my phone just before I put it down for the night, and I see that he commented on someone else's post, and it wasn't anything inappropriate at all. It was like someone I have a lot of friends right now who are really focusing on content creation and
Sure.
people who are new to it that are trying it out. And I think that's absolutely amazing because it's really done wonders for me. And
Yeah.
so I'm all for it. And so we have a couple of mutual friends, and one girl says, "Oh, everyone go check out so and so's page." And Kyle posted a comment that said, "Oh, so and so's awesome." And like that was it.
Yeah.
I was sitting here stewing in my head for a minute, and I was like, "No, we're not gonna do this." And so I told him, I was like, "This is how illogical my brain is."
Yeah.
I went from totally happy, "I wanna snuggle closer to you,"
Yeah.
to, "Who the hell does he think he is posting this?" In a matter of, like, 0.5 seconds.
Yeah. And also, is that not just typical, like, perimenopausal hormonal rage? Like, it's so dumb. It is I
Right, that
hate it.
probably is. I tend to always be a more jealous type person anyways.
Yeah.
If you're filling my cup and I'm content and happy and secure in our relationship, I don't care who you talk to. But
Right.
if there's any little doubt, if there's, like, a comment made earlier or just a little seed of doubt,
Yeah.
then I will immediately become jealous of everyone and anything.
And I think too, like when we've had any kind of trauma, then you have like this hypervigilance that kicks in.
Yes,
And so you can be super happy and everything's great. And all it takes is your partner, like a shift in their energy, a shift in the
yes,
way that they're acting. It has nothing to do with you at all. But
very true.
somehow we're like, oh, what is that? Why are they different? What did I do? Or what are they doing? Like, yeah.
I have to stop myself often. He tends to put his phone face down,
Hmm.
and that gets to me sometimes because 'cause I'm like, "What
Yeah.
are you hiding? What
Right.
don't you want me to see?"
Yeah.
For him, it's just he's looking at it and just sets it down. Not a thought in his mind,
Sure.
and I have to stop myself every time I wanna make a snide comment. Like, "What are you
Hmm.
hiding? What are like, because then that starts to deteriorate trust too.
It does. Yeah.
And we get on this little joke about this back and forth. "Oh, your girlfriend says this. Oh, and you have a boyfriend in it." Like, we joke about it, and then I'm like, "Wait a second, this is getting too much. Let's
Yeah.
back it up. Like, let's just be in love."
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't even remember how we got to that. Oh, the other shoe dropping.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to manufacture the worst case scenario in our heads. I do feel like you're being really consistent about coming back to the moment.
Yeah.
Like, it might pop up, but we
Mm.
come right back, and
Yeah,
I
it's like
love that.
controlling the crazy. It's like getting her back on a leash. Be like, "Okay, calm down."
That's so funny. I've heard people say that, like, they talk to their brain like it's another entity, like,
Yeah.
they have a name for it. "Come here, Susan, get back over here," I'm
Yeah.
gonna implement that because how smart is that? Because it's not me in that moment, like, it really
Right.
is, like, so
No, yeah.
that's so funny. I think I can't use Susan. It's too close to your name. That would make
Yeah.
it funny, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to come up with a name.
I like, Lucy because, like, I think of I Love Lucy and how she was always a little, like
Chaotic.
yeah. Yeah.
I used to call my GPS Lucy, I think. Linda. No, Linda, because of
Linda.
that kid. "Listen, Linda."
Listen, Linda.
Oh, my GPS is, "Please make a U-turn." "Listen, Linda, I'm trying to drive."
Yeah.
Maybe that's who it is. "Listen, Linda."
Uh,
But it makes sense. Yeah. That's funny. This one is 9 of swords. Okay. And I don't like to show the cards, which is crazy, I think, when I'm doing a reading, especially so publicly like this, because when I read the cards, it's so intuitive and unique to each reading. They
yeah.
don't necessarily mean the traditional meaning.
Right.
And I don't want someone getting in the comments, "That's not what that card means."
Uh-huh.
Maybe it'll be good for publicity later on. I don't know. But this card specifically is speaking to me in the form of furthering education or seeking out additional knowledge about something. Are you adding to what you already offer, like taking courses or
Yeah, I've got them so, like, I'm wanting to basically transfer my practice from in the local town, which is like our bigger town, to my home and to have like a farm retreat
Yeah.
and which will take time to build. But I have these concerns about like, will people travel the extra 20 minutes to come to my house versus staying in town where they are? Because, people are just funny. Like, they say they'll follow you, but then, do they? If it's
Right.
inconvenient and time is money, as they say. So, I understand that. So that's kind of been this ongoing concern, but I thought, well, there's some other things I wanna do, and some other trainings I wanna take, like certifications. I'm really interested in yoga and somatic therapy,
Yeah.
somatic breathing, somatic practices, really focusing on, instead of like most people think of massage, they think like deep tissue, doing this, doing that, and that's not where I feel like my purpose lies. Mine is more in nervous system regulation. Um, and
Mm.
calming that because, no amount of supplements and medicines and deep tissue and exercise is going to fix an unregulated nervous system or
Right.
dysregulated, I should say. You really need other practices to re-regulate that. And people are like, "Oh, I can't meditate, my brain races." I'm like, "Yeah, that's okay. Mine does too."
Right.
So kind of just tying all that together with some somatic breath work, somatic movement, things like that.
That's
That's kind of
awesome.
on my radar for
Yeah.
2026.
I love that. I feel like it would tie in really well for your existing business. And I remember when I first met you and you were like afraid to really offer Reiki. You were
Yeah,
still very much secretive about that. And
yeah.
now to go from that jump to really being much more
Mhm.
open and
Yeah.
offering just these say like alternative modalities. Like it's
Yeah.
I think also the world has changed over the last few years
Yeah.
where we're
I
starting to be okay with some of that stuff.
yeah, I'm seeing more and more changes in my clients.
I love that.
People that used to never would have asked even what is Reiki, let alone ask for it.
Yeah.
They're now asking more about it or asking for it or wanting to learn how to do it
Yeah.
and things like that. So yeah, so I think that there is kind of I hate to use the cliche awakening going on, but
Right.
that kind of is what it is. I'm seeing a lot of changes in a lot of people.
I remember my mom about 4 years ago, we were on the phone. She lives in California, very traditional Catholic family. You know, anything beyond that is the devil's work. You
Yeah.
know?
I'm in the
And
Bible Belt here. I get that completely.
yeah, and she's like, "Have you heard of grounding?" And I was like, "I sure have, mom. Yeah."
Yeah.
And so I let her talk to me about it because she was so excited about discovering it. She's like, "And now I just go out once a day and I just walk around barefoot in the grass." And I'm like, "Okay, I love that for you." But there was this moment of like, "Huh, the even the older generation is starting to become more
Mhm.
open to these ideas." And I
Yeah.
really love that. It's not a fix all,
No.
it's not I have struggled with that specifically of like I've done all the alternative modality type healing things
Yeah.
and then it didn't fix the issue that I needed to address. And so
Right.
I started to get down on myself. Well, lo and behold, I needed modern medicine,
Right.
like
Yeah.
it's okay
Yeah.
sometimes, but the fact that it's going the other direction and people are
Mhm.
starting to open up to this as like a supplemental type treatment. I
Yeah.
had a friend recently who was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, ended up getting a prognosis of 3 to 5 months,
Mm.
started to really rein in his activities and what he was doing, and it was a late 50s gruff construction guy, ex-alcoholic, you know,
Yeah.
and I hesitated and hesitated about asking him if he was interested in Reiki. He's like, "I'll
Mhm.
come over to your house, you don't have to go anywhere," because he was very low energy. He goes, "No, I've had so many people tell me about that." He goes, "But it costs too much." I was like, "Listen, this is just what I wanna do for you. Just let
Yeah.
me
It's
come
a
over and
gift.
do this."
Yeah.
Right. And he was very excited about it. Like 3 days later, he passed.
Oh
And
gosh.
I
Yeah.
was so bummed because I was looking forward to that time with him too.
Yeah.
I really wanted to just help ease that end of life transition,
Yeah.
which gets me into a whole other thing because I've loved the idea of a death doula since I
Yeah.
heard the concept. The modern medicine wasn't going to solve his issue, but alternative modalities could have made it easier,
Right.
and that's what I think is super important for people to realize too.
And that's what I tell people. What I'm doing is not going to cure your cancer or fix your broken leg or fix your depression or whatever, but I can help you. I can ease this. I can help you be calmer. There's different things we can do together. We can work together. It's just more tools in your toolbox of
Right.
healing. Like there is no one fix all for anybody. And I think it's important I don't want to, there's so much polarization around everything right now. And
Yes.
it can all be part of it. Like, whatever your spirituality is, that's fine as long as it's healthy for you. And whatever medicines you're taking from your doctor, as long as they're working for you and not causing you more harm, great.
Right.
Whatever tools I can help you with, whatever modalities I can do. I think it's so important that we use this toolbox of all these different flavors of things and different spices to to help ourselves and help others and not just be like, "Oh, no, tunnel vision, it's only this."
Right. Well, Reiki is not a spiritual or religious practice.
Right.
Meditation is not a spiritual or religious practice.
Right.
Tarot is not a religious or spiritual practice. People
Right.
want to demonize things because they don't understand it when really it's just the mind body
Mhm.
spirit connection.
It is.
And it's not about the teachings of a religious figure or however you want to word it.
Right.
It's really just learning how to be in our own body.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Not and,
plain and
you know
simple.
yeah, and I think people not only do they not understand it, but they fear things they don't understand, and they've
Right.
been taught to fear things that they don't understand. It's like when you stop being afraid and just start questioning things and start looking into things for yourself and having your own critical thinking and taking your own time to read up on things and learn about things and talk to people that are experts in whatever field it may be and just try things for yourself. And if it's not a good fit for you and you don't like it, you never
Right.
have to do it again. Like no one's going to brainwash you or tell you you have to do it a certain way. It's just whatever works for you is fine.
I keep seeing goat yoga, and I really think it'd be awesome, but I don't like animals and I don't do yoga. So, I keep thinking, "Man, that looks like so much fun." Like, I should
Yeah.
try it at least once, and I
Yeah.
mean, maybe I will become a goat person,
Right. They're
but,
so funny.
oh my gosh, they're so stinking cute. And then I saw penguin yoga, and I was like, "Okay, that I could get on board with."
That would be amazing.
That would be and they come up in your face while you're doing downward dog. They're, like,
I
just
would
right there.
love that.
They just roam around the room. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's the thing is, like, I could try it.
Yeah.
I've actually just looked at on my wall in my office, I have a little picture. It says, "Do it for the plot." And I've
Yeah.
take that approach for a lot of different things this year,
Yes.
AKA the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, just do it for the storyline. Like,
Yeah.
just have fun and go out and do it. I have a friend recently who told me she's in her yes era. So if
Uh-huh.
someone invites her to do something, the answer is
Uh-huh.
yes. And she's
Yeah.
done all kinds of super awesome things. She's
Mhm.
now building a jewelry line and has gone to welding school and all this well, I don't wanna say welding school,
Yeah.
soldering, that's what it was, soldering
Yeah.
class. And so she's at fairs and festivals, and she was at Ren Fair recently, and she's like, "I
Mhm.
never meant to do this, but now all of these yeses are leading up to something else." And so I think that's so awesome, a yes era.
Yeah, I think when we hold on to control so tightly, and I've been guilty of this in the past too, and I see it with clients every day, you're so afraid of losing what you have or so afraid of messing up or failing that you just hold on to control of this is it. Manifesting before we started, you hold on to control of like, I want this and nothing but this, so help me God. And it's like, but what if the universe, God, whatever could and can give you something so much better. Like if it's like, okay, yeah, this is kind of what I enjoy doing. I kind of like this. This could be fun. If you just say yes to XYZ opportunities and like, you know what, it may not be what I want to do, but let's just see where it goes. Let's be open to it. And then when you're open to that thing, and then suddenly all these doors open and you just start getting flooded with all these cool things and this whole different future than you ever thought you would have.
Yeah,
So
100%. I have what's called the buffet theory, and
yeah.
I bring it up often in AA because we set out on this idea of what we want in life. I should say I set out in life or, this idea of specifically I want this.
Hmm.
And to me, it's a lot like a buffet. You go down a buffet and you have the salad, the little sides, you have the dressings, it's all the little stuff. And
Yeah.
then you get to the main courses, and by that point, you're kind of running out of room on your plate, but you're filled up on a lot of little things. You're doing good. And then
Yeah.
you turn the corner and it's like, there's the dessert table. And you have no room left for the desserts on your plate, right? Like it happens
Yeah.
every single time. But we're so concerned about the little stuff throughout our journey down that buffet line.
Yeah.
When in reality, we just need to look around. What's
Mhm.
there? Like, what is possible for me to achieve? And
Yeah.
stop being so tunnel vision in those
Yeah.
moments. But that's like my relation back to AA and my recovery journey has been sure, I wanted to stop drinking. Sure, I wanted, a decent relationship at some point. I wanted a job that was stable. All of these things. And I didn't realize it could be so much more than that. For me now, I have a business and I don't even know what to call this, like content creation, podcasting, whatever the creation that I've made.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's this whole journey of its own, but I never saw it coming. I have a relationship that is so fulfilling. He is completely my partner in every way, like my equal, and we challenge each other and we laugh together. Everything beyond I could have ever imagined. I have a full-time job that I'm also very happy at, and I love the people there, and I don't hate going to it. Like there's
Yeah.
that was never a thought in my head. I just thought you hate
Uh-huh.
work, like that's just what you do. But had I stayed like so small and what's possible for me,
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have found all that stuff. And so that's my buffet theory.
Yeah, I completely agree because in a reading you did a couple of readings ago, actually, when we were discussing about like a future partner and things, I have a notebook with all of my readings in
Yeah.
it and like notes from my readings. And I refer back to them ever so often because, time is funny when you're doing readings and whatnot. But I was just happened to be looking back the other day and I was looking through some old things to see I was thinking more career minded, like what did I miss? And then I saw this part about my partner and I was like, oh my gosh, like all of these things like completely
Mm,
describe this person that I'm seeing now. And it's so interesting. But my point in that being, there was one line you said that was, how was it? Like, don't be surprised if he's not what you thought it would look like. Like that this like don't just friend zone him or don't put him into a different like pigeonhole role in your life because it's not what you thought it would look like.
yeah.
And the truth of the matter is this guy is like a lot older than me. More than I would ever
Okay.
like if I
Yeah, I
was doing
remember
dating
this
apps,
conversation. Yeah.
yeah, like if we were doing dating apps, he would be outside of my age range.
Right.
So just seeing him out somewhere or on the dating app, I never would have went out with him because
Yeah.
it wasn't what I thought it should look like.
I love that actually.
And then this just kind of like randomly sort of developed and I'm like, wow, this is actually very organic and very just flowed so easy. So I think it's that way with our careers, with different choices in our lives, when you don't just well, this is the idea of what it should look like when you're like, who cares what it looks like as long as it makes me happy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that goes for so many different things in life. It's just, I think, unavoidable. Like I was saying before we started recording, trying to keep my expectations for this podcast realistic.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'm totally open to being surprised by how it turns out.
Yeah.
I think it's important to still anticipate that it could be more than I ever imagined.
Yeah.
We'll
And
see.
we talk about affirmations and speaking things into existence and living in that energy of this is my life. This is what makes me happy. You draw things into you by having the energy, the vibrational match of what it is that you want brought to you. And I look back in my life and I'm like, oh, I see where that happened, whether it was a good or a bad thing.
Right.
It's like I unintentionally, vibrationally kind of matched to that at that point in my life.
Right.
And I think as we heal and we move forward and our vibrations, our frequencies, and our mood, our energy increases into a better place, then we start manifesting, drawing in, energetically matching with all these other things that are like magnets that are drawn to us.
100%. And I found that specifically, I've been really pushing hard on Facebook in the last couple of weeks because that's where my crowd, the people who I want to watch this, that's where we
Yeah,
mostly congregate online.
sure.
And so I'm out there interacting with people who would possibly run across this podcast and think it's interesting.
Hmm.
And the more I do that, there's tenfold that come back and follow me. And I'm in awe every time I bring myself up to that vibrational level. And it's like you start to attract the people who are there as well. To me, that's the magic. Trying to do spells and doing all the things is fun, but to me, it's
Right.
it's that vibrational awareness that
Hmm.
really gets me excited.
Yeah.
I love it.
And like when
It's
you decide this is what I want for my life and this is what makes
yes,
me happy,
yes.
like it just somehow it all attracts.
Last summer, so not 2025, 2024, I put on my phone, I'm very organized on my screen. I have all of my, like, social media apps in one folder, and I
Yeah.
named it this is gonna sound so stupid. I named it Influencer Life.
Oh, yeah.
Because at that time, I was so dead set on becoming, like, TikTok famous, and I have a decent following there, but I wanted, like, the notoriety that went along with it. I wanted the multiple viral videos that went along with it, like, that's what I wanted,
Right.
and within a month of doing that, I got an email to go to, like, a TikTok event,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Okay, that's how it works." I made the decision that I wanted that part of my life to come true, and
Mhm.
then the opportunities just start to find you. Like,
Yeah.
that's just the way that's like, the vibrational magic, the awareness, like, it gets me so excited. I love it. Let's get back to the reading 'cause we've had good stuff, but we're just getting started. I love this. Knight of Pentacles for me, this one's you mentioned earlier the awareness that maybe all of your clients wouldn't follow you if you moved things. I do feel like there's probably more willingness than you might realize, and I don't my spirit guides, what they're telling me right now is it also unlocks a different clientele that would be attracted to the new presentation of your business. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
So where anyone can go down to the little office building and get a massage or whatever,
Yeah.
but there's like a more boutique type feel. Like you can present it that way and attract
Mhm.
people.
Yeah.
So I would say lean into creating it as an experience or, like, presenting it as an experience rather
Yeah.
just, like, come in for your 50-minute massage and then you're done, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So, I think that's what it's doing more is building it feels like a personality for the business,
Yeah.
creating this whole entity in itself. So,
Yeah.
it hopefully will help mitigate anyone who doesn't follow you, like, it'll
Right.
make up for it. I feel like it will outweigh what you lose.
Yeah.
So, be aware of that. Side note, I have never realized how much I said, or like, or until I started editing, and now every time I say it, I recognize that I'm saying it, and I'm like, "Dang it, there's another one."
Well, it's so funny right now. I'm a big Brené Brown fan, and
Yeah,
so different points of my life, I've listened to different books.
yeah,
But I recently decided I was going to binge all of her books, like back to back to back to back to back. I'm an audio book
yeah.
person, so I love listening to her read the book. Currently, I'm in The Gifts of Imperfection, and
Ooh,
I'm like, what a perfect book to read at this time in my life right now. Not being afraid of failure. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay if things are not the way that you thought they were going to look.
yeah,
And being imperfect. And I think that's
might need that one.
yeah, it's like a really good thing actually talking about this podcast. And we were talking about how everybody always, women especially, we're so hard on ourselves and we want everything to be perfect and look like Instagram or Facebook or Pinterest. And that's not how life is. And I would never be hard on you. You would never be hard on me if XYZ is not perfect, but we are so hard on ourselves.
100%.
The Gift of Imperfection it's been out for a pretty long time, but I think it's probably one of her best books.
I'm gonna have to look into that because that imposter syndrome is loud right now.
For real, I get that so much.
It is what it is.
Uh,
It doesn't define me though. The imposter syndrome is gonna be there whether I'm posting on Facebook or I'm
right.
releasing a podcast or I write a book and put that out. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna have that self-doubt eventually. And it
Yeah.
just matters if I push through
Mhm.
and do it anyways.
Yeah. And when you hear about celebrities and authors all the time, and they even say, like, as successful and wealthy and whatever as they are, they still have these moments of self doubt and imposter syndrome and all those things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's true. And I think if you don't have it, then there's something clinically wrong with you.
yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like psychopath wrong with you. I've met a lot of confident people in my life,
yeah.
but some of them are a little too confident and a little crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I'm getting into the partner again. It's a very Does he live further away from you?
He lives on the other side of our larger town here.
Okay.
So
So
it's
it's a
like a
little bit of
30
a
it's
drive.
like a 35-minute drive, yeah.
I mean, that's not someone that you're gonna run into at the store on a regular
Right,
basis. It feels like it has to be very intentional of I don't wanna say like a big deal, I'm coming to see you, but like
right.
I'm making the commitment to come see you. Like this,
Yeah.
don't not be home. Like,
Yeah.
you're there, like, it
Yeah.
feels like plans are pretty how do I word that? Like, once plans are made, the fact that I don't wanna say, like, the fact that stick means a lot.
Mhm.
What is that coming through as? Help. It's very much like the intentionality
Mhm.
of, "I'm setting aside time for you. I
Yeah.
want to be there with you." It's not just, like, convenient. I don't wanna say
No.
it's inconvenient,
Right, yeah.
but you guys aren't just hanging out because you happen to be neighbors or something.
Right.
And that I
It's
feel like
very
is a very
intentional.
big part in the creation of this relationship.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
like, in a very positive way. Like you said, if you saw him out and about, it would not have necessarily led to anything. So I feel
Right.
like that's part of this. Even if you were close by and you did see him out and about, it wasn't necessarily something that was just would have happened. There's,
Mhm.
I wanna say, going back to fate, the red string theory, I'm sure you've heard of that.
Yeah.
Have you guys discussed that already? Because it feels like it's very prominent with you guys.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of near misses before you guys met too.
Really?
Yeah. Ooh, I'm getting chills all over. Yeah. Usually it's just my arms, but it's like arms, legs, everything getting chills right now.
Yeah.
'Cause it feels like there have been many, many times where the universe is like, "Oh, no, they're not ready yet. Move," like, "Pack 'em up." It feels like what's that movie with Jim Carrey? The Truman Show?
Yeah.
Like, "Hold on, wait, keep 'em back." Like,
Uh-huh.
this, universal higher power thing trying to completely orchestrate it so it worked out, and that's
Mhm.
how this feels.
We talk about that sometimes, like, how have we not met before now just because of the areas we've lived in at similar times and the fields of work we've been in, the kinds of people we've been around, but it's like our circles just did not overlap. And even on social media, like I think we have 2 connected friends, like 2
Right,
mutual friends, and that's it. And it's not someone that either one of us really communicates with that much. It's kind of like a, peripheral
right.
friend,
Yeah,
like you met like through a event or something that you've talked to 3 times your entire life, you know? And oddly enough, it's kind of the one of the friends is how we met. She was a mutual client of both of ours.
mm.
And she was like, "I think you guys should meet," you know?
Aw,
Yeah.
that's actually really sweet.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like, a year or 2 ago, when I was out of a really bad breakup and whatnot, I said, "You know what? I'm not doing the apps. I'm not
Right.
doing all this craziness. I'm not into that, so it's going to be organic." Like, he's gonna have to walk into my office,
Yeah.
and that is literally what happened.
Aw, I love that. I love
Yeah.
love.
And
Um,
when like you said, it was like the universe was kinda like, "Not quite yet," because we actually met, a year and a half or 2 ago, and we're in each other's orbit for a little bit, and then just kind of went our separate ways. We didn't have any issue, it just kind of fizzled or whatever,
right,
and there was no romantic interest at the time, it was kind of a professional type relationship or paraprofessional, and so, that was kind of just, "Oh, well, whatever." Then when we reconnected this year, it was like, "No, now is the time,"
right.
and
Well, and you
so
guys
and we've
needed
talked about that.
you needed to be ready internally in
Yeah.
order to see the possibilities externally, so
Mhm.
that makes a lot of sense. I do f I do get the sense that he softens you, but he's your rock. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
very much so.
It's
Yeah.
and I wanna say, like, at first it came through as, like, 2 very strong people side by side, but that's not I mean, I'm not saying that you aren't his equal
Mhm.
but it feels like his energy gives you permission to be
Yeah,
more feminine, to
it
be
does.
more receptive, to be
Yeah.
softer, and
Yep.
that to me is like it's like creativity, like this green light for creative energy inside of our bodies as women.
Yeah.
When we have a man who handles the hard stuff or is there, emotionally for us,
Yeah.
it opens up, like, our nervous systems to be more creative and to be more
Mhm.
I don't wanna say delusional in a bad way, but, like,
Right.
dreaming big.
Yeah.
So
And I think that that probably is. it's kind of all like divine timing. With the business, it's been like, not yet, not yet, not yet. And with him, it was like, not yet, not yet, not yet. Now that he's kind of come into the picture, it does very much. And I felt myself be more like, as I kind of have softened and feel safe and like let that guard down that I've had up for so long, and seeing that he's a steady, consistent, safe place,
Yeah.
then it allows me to be like, okay, I can kind of rest. I don't have to worry about this thing. So now my energy is going to something else
Other
and like
stuff.
allowing me to be more, yeah.
I recently found for myself, I've been in a steady relationship for really steady, I would say 4 years now. We had off and on again at the beginning, but we're good, like very solid.
Mhm.
My job, I've been there for 2 years. My recovery, I've been sober for 7. I have all of this really good, steady energy in my life. And this year, I started working on my mental health more and realized because I'm not in survival mode anymore,
Yeah.
I'm not just trying to get through day by day to
Mhm.
make it to another morning. I have that now, and it definitely gives me the energy and the capacity to look at the hard stuff that I've avoided for so long.
Yeah.
And that's I don't have words for how that feels, but
Mhm.
when you have that security in your life,
Yeah.
it's and then I get angry because here I am, 45 years old, and I'm just now getting this. Like,
I know.
I feel so cheated in that respect because there are people who met the love of their life who took care of them at 20 years old,
Yeah.
and I feel like that changes a lot of what type of I don't wanna say, like, how do I word this? When you have these things that are steady and stable in your life, whether it's a career or person or whatever,
Mhm.
early on, like, there is more opportunity. There is more like, there's somewhat of an advantage, I feel like.
Right.
I didn't have that. There was a lot working against me, my recovery being number 1. It's not
Sure.
another person, it was totally an inside job.
Hi, I'm the problem, it's me.
Yeah. What do they say? The call is coming from inside the house. It was 100% me. But once I started to get that figured out, everything else started to get figured out. And so there was
Yeah.
so much more capacity to start looking building a business. It's
Right.
crazy to me
Yeah.
how much of a whole life of its own it's taken on.
Mhm.
I wouldn't have been able to do that drinking. Like,
Right.
it's just no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
No
Well,
way.
and I feel like I get that because it's like I have a friend that she and her husband met when they were like 15 years old.
Mhm.
And so she's never really dated anybody else. It's always been them. And she would tell you her life's not perfect either. And we talk about lots of different things. And I don't think either of us would trade lives with the other because we're happy in our own lives. But there's been times that I'm like, man, if I could have had that at that age, how different would my life be?
Yes.
But also, would I want my life any different?
Right.
Because I don't know that I could help people with the things I help them with if I hadn't been through some of the things that I've gone through. It wouldn't have even been a thought in my mind to focus on nervous system regulation or this or that. Like if it hadn't been for some of the crap I've been through that I needed to learn that for myself.
100%. I think that a lot about having my kids so early. I
Mhm.
was 18 when I had my first, and I had all of them by the time I turned 23. It's insane to me. My daughter right now is 23, and she's like, "I cannot imagine having 3 kids right now, and a house, and a husband," and she's like, "That well, 1 is good." Like, her
Yeah.
daughter's 1 year old, and I think back to the capacity that I had at the time,
Mhm.
and I was able to navigate young motherhood
Yeah.
great. I would not be able to have teenagers in the house right now, let alone elementary school age in the house right now.
Yeah, no.
It happened for a reason, but also now here I am. Had an empty nest technically. All of my kids were 18. By the time I was like 41,
Yeah.
I was done being responsible for
Mm.
these humans,
Right. Yeah.
which opened up this ability to start a business and get
Mhm.
sober and focus on that. There's so much that I've done since then that I
Right.
don't know that I would have even attempted if I still had kids in the house.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
it definitely all happens for a reason, and like you said, the people that have that 20-year, 25-year marriage or whatever,
Mhm.
it doesn't mean their life is any easier, ever.
Right.
They have their own, and now that I think about it, I would love to have someone like that on the show because, like, let's talk about what struggles you face. Like, how
Yep.
does that play out? I'm just not familiar with that.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are.
Yeah, and I think we always think the grass is greener on the other side, and
Right,
that's not the case at all. We don't always share all of our struggles and all of our drama and whatnot
right,
on social media. We tend to put our best face forward or in our careers,
right,
we don't drag our personal stuff into our career because that's not helpful, to the
right.
people we're working with. People think, "Oh, she has it all figured out. She's got it all together." Oh, no, baby, I sure don't.
I have a coworker, and she's still fairly new at my job, and this is a woman about my age who is an attorney, and she has a child, and I'm thinking, this woman has her life together." And
Mhm.
I posted something about the imposter syndrome the other day, and her comment is, "Oh, no, if you're doubting yourself, the rest of us are screwed," or something along those lines. And I was like, "Me? Did I give you the impression that I have my life together? I think I may have messed up, like, that is not at all." And I'm thinking, "You're an attorney, you went to law school, you passed the bar, and you
Yeah.
think that I," and I know what she was saying. Like,
Mhm.
I get what she really meant by that. She doesn't think I have my life together,
Mhm.
she is well aware that no one does.
Mhm.
But perception of, I
Yeah.
think you should have her life together because she's done all of these great things and she's accomplished so much, and
Mhm.
I didn't have that opportunity, and then she's, like, looking at me, and I have the business, and I'm, doing all these things, and she's like, "Wow, you really have your life," just this
Mhm.
9-day difference of paths that we chose. Neither
Yeah.
of them is right or wrong, neither of them
Mhm.
is better than the other.
Yeah.
We just, I think because I haven't walked in the shoes of becoming an attorney, let's say,
Right.
or, whatever it might be. To me, that's just, like, such a big feat, and I
Yes.
admire it and I respect it,
Mhm.
but I don't know that I would be able to do it, you know?
Right. Same. I have a client that is a musician out of Nashville,
Ooh,
and
yeah,
they travel across the country, they tour, all these things, and they came in one day and we were talking about careers and whatnot, and I told her that I was just so in awe of her job and how awesome it must be, and in my next life, I wanna be a rock star. I wanna travel and do
yeah,
concerts and things. I love music. And they said, "Well, I think that you have the coolest job. Look at where you work. Look at what you do all day." This is and they were being genuine. It
yeah,
wasn't sunshine up my butt.
right,
Very genuine, like, "You have the coolest job. I would trade places with you."
yeah,
And to hear that, it was like such perspective for me of we think again, the grass is always greener, that other, other job, other career, other life is so much more glamorous, but it's like but it's not because we don't always see the behind the scenes struggles of any
right.
career path or any life or anything.
Yes, and I'm laughing as the wife of a local musician.
Right.
Let me tell you, it is not. It wears them down, and I've seen it from, like, you get the energetic aspect of it.
Mhm.
He's giving so much energy during those
Yeah.
performances that
Yeah.
I can literally see his reserves. By the end, he's just
Yeah.
like, "Let's just go home. I'm tired." It's really interesting to see the behind the scenes because I would never have realized, like, to me, yeah, it's all glam and glory and everything else,
Right. Yeah.
which it is not. There is back to the partner, I think is still
Mhm.
coming up. Is there a lot of passion there?
Yeah.
Like, unexpected passion, it feels like.
Yeah.
Is he more reserved? It feels like he's, more of, like, a mellow type energy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's more introverted in a lot of ways, and we'll just
Yeah,
leave it at that. And I'm more extroverted and outgoing and,
I love that. But it does feel like maybe in the bedroom, there's a lot more spice and energy than you were expecting.
We'll see.
Okay. No, it does
I mean,
feel like,
it is, but,
yeah,
like
it feels
yeah.
like there's this, I don't, it feels very surprising and, like, appreciated, you know,
Yeah.
especially if he's older than you because that can kind of play a
Yeah.
role sometimes.
Yeah.
Kyle's only 8 years older than me, which isn't a lot.
Mhm.
But it's significant enough where I do feel like I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm more of a kid where he's
Mhm.
like this old man sometimes. He's like, "I just wanna sit down and watch TV. Like, we should do this, and then we could do this, and then we could do this," and he's like, "No, I'm too tired."
Yeah.
But, that age difference can play a role sometimes in
Yeah.
just, I would say, like, a physical energy mismatch.
Yeah. No, he has been very surprising and not what I would again, back to not what you would expect and don't
Yeah,
count that person out because they're not what you thought it would look like,
yeah,
because he's surprising in a lot of ways.
good. I love that. I can't tell if that's him or you. Workaholic is coming up for one of you.
Probably both of us a little bit.
Okay. Which
'Cause
is
he's got some he just changed jobs, and he's very happy. It's a great opportunity and lots of new things coming, so he's kind of getting his momentum in
yeah,
this career that this, position that he's in. So I think he probably is, very focused on work, but if anybody's a workaholic, it's probably more me because I do own my own business,
yeah,
and so, like, it's constantly like a tab running in the background.
I get that. I
Mhm.
get that a lot. Kyle and I are both Capricorn risings, which are very driven and very tenacious.
Yeah.
Specifically, I would say business minded. So, like, we're both constantly in work mode.
Yeah.
Which is nice because if I'm busy doing something for my stuff, he's just as busy doing stuff for his stuff.
Yeah.
So we don't necessarily have to worry about the other person. Every now and then I'm like, "Put your phone away. Stop selling pianos. No one wants one at 10 o'clock at night. Stop."
Right. Yeah.
But I understand where he's coming from when he does that, and so it
Mhm.
helps. And I think this in your situation, potentially there could be a little off balance of, like, stop with the work stuff right now.
Yeah.
Put it away for a little bit. It doesn't feel like a huge issue, it just feels like it's noticed. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Normally, like, I try to have my phone not on, we're together. Again, it's a very intentional time together. But last night, I mean, it was Friday night, but I was getting some texts coming in about changing appointments and for the coming week and getting gift certificates for Christmas. And so my phone dung several times,
Yeah,
and I was trying to answer them because, I mean, this is my business. It's how I make my money. It's how
right,
I survive. So, I do like to answer them promptly if I can.
right,
And I mean, it wasn't super late. I mean, it was like 6 o'clock,
right.
6:30. It
Outside
wasn't
of
like it was
business hours,
right, yeah,
but
but it wasn't like midnight or something crazy, but I think he didn't say anything, but I
good,
think he probably did notice that I was, like, not fully present with him for a
right,
few minutes there. Yeah.
yeah. And I think that's ultimately what matters more, not so much that you're working on your business, but how
Mhm.
present are you? Because going back to when we talked about how intentional that time together is,
Yeah.
if there's effort being made to get together and spend
Mm.
time together, why are you also doing this thing?
Yeah.
And I don't see it being like a huge issue. It's more of like, we need to have this conversation about it. This is my busy season. People are
Yeah.
asking about gift cards or people are trying to relax during the holidays, whatever it might be,
Right.
explaining that this is not constant. This
Yeah.
is just how it is right now. And that's kind of the understanding that Kyle and I have. I mean, he has sold pianos on his phone at Thanksgiving dinner in previous
Yeah.
years because, like you said, when it's especially something sales oriented, you wanna
Mhm.
get back to people right away. Otherwise,
Yeah.
the thought process is gone.
Mm.
They aren't ready to buy 5 minutes down the road.
Yes.
And this is his busy time of the year where people want something by Christmas because it's a big
Yeah.
Christmas present or whatever. So
Yep.
and I had to set the expectation for it's just that's the time of year. This is just
Yeah.
how it is. I think that's all that really needs to happen to make sure that you guys are on the same page. It's
Just
just
having that
a
conversation.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it sets a stage for that communication back and forth. He may not have said anything when it happened, but
Mhm.
then it's still there. And
Yeah.
it's still in the back of his mind. So if it does need to come up again, it's already been approached. You've already opened that line of communication about it, and so
Yeah.
it makes it a little easier to discuss later on. But, yeah, definitely get your bag. Like, you gotta get the money.
Yeah.
Yes. It is your livelihood, and
Yeah,
that's part of the package of who you are.
right.
That's not it's not something you can just stop
Mhm.
and not do, so
Right.
very important. It's so
And I
funny, I
think
said, "Get your bag," and this is the card that she's like, literally putting money in her bag.
that's awesome.
That is awesome. We talked a little bit about manifestation and getting very stuck on what you want. So this card sometimes will come up and mean like journal, get your thoughts out, or someone's writing a book. This feels very much like manifestation scripting for you.
Okay.
Like he's sitting there
Oh, that's fun. I
writing.
love that.
Yeah. Have you practiced manifestation scripting before? And this has been heavy on my mind this morning, anyways.
Mhm.
So it could just be my own influence bringing it in. But I I love scripting. To me, it's one of the most beneficial and effective ways to manifest things in my life. And what you mentioned earlier was being so like tunnel vision on a specific outcome,
Mhm.
whereas scripting tends to be more, this is the feel I want for my life. This
Mhm.
is how I want my life to feel day to day. And
Yeah.
it takes the focus off of the specific things and
Mhm.
more on the emotional aspect of that manifestation. And I think that's why it works so well for me. Be
Yeah.
I can step aside and like not focus on one specific thing,
Mhm.
but I want like the end goal is this, the feeling of waking up and knowing that I have my own business and I'm on my own timeline for the day and whatever it happens
Yeah.
to be. A card came up earlier also of kind of widen the angle of what you're looking at, and I think that plays into this as well, to
Okay.
where you're not looking for a specific outcome, you're looking
Mhm.
for a broader picture of how things play out in your life. So I would say those 2 cards combined are very much, if you want, especially in your business, to expand to a place where you're at home and you're offering new things,
Mhm.
what feel do you want that to look like? How do you want your days to play out?
Yeah, like flexible and freedom and financially sound, but also very fulfilled and like, yeah.
And I think that's gonna be important for you to focus on,
Mhm.
rather than, "I need this amount of money each month, and I need this many clients, and I need this many bookings each week."
Yeah.
Back up, big picture, how do you want it to play out?
Yeah.
And that's a big one for me too, so
Yeah. Because that we talk about how emotion is energy in motion.
mhm,
If you can feel those emotions of like what it'll feel like to have XYZ or what your ideal life feels like to you.
right.
Yeah.
I've even heard people say to go as far, I love to hear myself talk, but I don't know if I could do a meditation to my own voice.
Yeah.
But I've heard people say, record yourself reading the script
Mhm.
out loud and then play it back to yourself so that it's
Yeah.
your own voice
Mhm.
kinda telling you, and it could be like, "Hey, this is your future self. This is what we did today."
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and kind of like a check-in of this is what you have to look forward to. And
Yeah.
again, I get so excited when I talk about frequency and vibration. Again, it's bringing you up to those emotions and that feeling of this is where you wanna be. And it might be a bad day here and there, but for the most part, like, your baseline vibration raises
Mhm.
what we want it to. That's the ultimate goal of a manifestation, right? And so when we get the emotion attached to it, it kind of brings us up there naturally, and again, starts
Yeah.
to attract the things that we want at that level.
Yeah.
So that's I love it, it's so much fun. It's just that gets me so excited.
Yes, because, like, for those of us who have experienced that even once or twice, it's almost like an addiction. It's almost
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
you
like,
chase that.
I can chase that. Like, I can do this. Like, I did that with
Yeah,
my own energy, my own emotion, my own, you know, feeling about something. I brought that in."
yeah,
When you see in the past how that's happened for you, it's like, "Oh, I do have that power," because so many of us feel powerless, I think, about things going on in our lives, going on in the country, going on, whatever it may be. I see that in my clients, a lot of feeling of powerlessness comes
mhm,
up. But don't be afraid of your own power. I told someone that last week. I was like, don't be afraid of your own power. Like, you have this power in you. And one of my good friends, she tells me all the time, like, "Get out of your own way."
Right. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
That's a huge one for me. Like I said earlier, I tend to hurt my own feelings more than
Yeah.
anyone else does, and that's a lot of it is I'm in my own way,
Yeah.
and I can't, especially in the last few weeks when I've been posting more intentionally on Facebook or on
Mhm.
social media, and I look back at all the times I was just, like, throwing spaghetti at the wall hoping for some sort of result, and I wasn't
Yeah.
getting anywhere, but also I hadn't totally committed to it either. And so
Right.
I was holding myself back in those
Mhm.
moments. I was doing the work and spinning my wheels, but I wasn't getting any results
Yeah.
because I was still afraid to fully show up.
Mhm.
And for me, that looks like consistency, planning, like, ew, planning.
Consistency, no, I don't wanna
Ew.
be.
And what did it for me, I have a chat GPT thread that I put in screenshots of all my analytics. And it called me out. I asked for it to. I said, "Where are my blind spots?"
Uh-huh.
And it literally said, "You post according to your emotional status. Like,
Yeah.
you totally some days you post a ton, and then you drop off for a few weeks, and then you." I was like, "Ooh,
I do that too.
I
Yeah.
do." Yeah. And once I decided to stop doing that,
Mhm.
it just happened. It
Yeah.
just started to kind of it became like the resistance was gone all of a sudden, and it
Mhm.
became easier to be consistent, and it became like the results are more evident now
Yeah.
of that consistency and the planning, and I have Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars all in Virgo.
Mhm.
They love that consistency and the planning and the, "I've done this today, I can do it again tomorrow." Rinse, wash, repeat. Rinse, wash, repeat. You just have to do the thing, and I fought that for so long, but now
Mhm.
when I do it, I can't be mad at myself for not doing it sooner, I wasn't ready, but
Right. Well, and I think that's such a good point too, because whether it's eating healthy, exercising, meditating, journaling, anything at all, they say it takes 2 weeks for your brain to build that pathway of routine,
right,
and you have to be consistent for 2 weeks, and it becomes a habit, and then you just do it.
right,
But it's that first 2 weeks is so hard because sometimes you're battling to have enough spoons, like spoon theory, enough
100.
spoons to do it, and it's like, "Oh, I know I should journal, but I just don't have the spoons to do it." Or, "Oh, I know I should post right now, but I just don't think I can human 1 more minute today." And so it's that fine line of figuring that out for yourself.
I tell myself, "I've been sober this many days, and I've been
Uh,
practicing Spanish this many days." I still don't know Spanish, but I but I've done this thing, these 2 things this many days in a row. I
yeah.
can do anything for 1 day in a row, 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row,
Mm,
like, it adds up over time. It doesn't have to be the most life-altering thing in the world. It's
mhm,
just doing the thing that makes it a little easier or a little better. I call it aligned action.
mhm.
Like, we have these manifestations that we want, these goals that we want, and there I used to be and people will still tell you, I think this is toxic spirituality. If you reach a certain vibration, that things will just appear in your life, right? Like, I
Mhm.
think we've all heard that at some point when we talk
Yeah.
about manifestation. If you get to this vibrational frequency, you can change your life overnight.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm getting there, but where does the change come in?
Yeah.
Come on." And I would get down on myself because I couldn't magically change my life overnight, but I
Yeah.
came to realize, like, you have to put in the work too. You
Mhm.
have to do that aligned action, and it
Yeah.
doesn't mean, like, I want 5,000 followers on Facebook, but I'm gonna go work out and count on my calories. That's not gonna like, those are not aligned.
Right. Yep.
But doing the consistent posting and analyzing my engagement rates and blah, 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 like, that's the aligned action for that thing. Now, if I
Yeah.
wanna lose weight, great. That other stuff is good over here,
Sure.
but it has to be some kind of parallel.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah.
But I think we always forget about the aligned action as well. And I
Yeah.
think, like, talking back to the reading about your business and how you kind of wanna take it to a different level, what are the aligned actions for you there? What
Yeah.
is it that needs to happen? And I think it does come back to, like, really niching into a brand, making it an experience, making it a retreat type feel or whatever it is that you want to focus on,
Yeah.
and really leaning into that. And I think the manifestation scripting will help 100%. When my clients come to visit me, they feel this, 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 and this, and that will lead you into building that business
Mhm.
plan, business personality almost. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah. So not just like manifest scripting for myself, but also for them and for the business. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if I do it for myself, my issue is my brain kicks in and my lizard brain and it's like,
Right,
that's not how you feel right now. That's not accurate. That's not reality. That's not
right.
what's happening. My brain just will shut it down.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing it for the business or for my clients, I feel like I could be like, oh no, because authentically, that is what the goal of what I want them to feel like. So my brain wouldn't shut that down.
I love that. Honestly, I feel like maybe I need to do that too for my
Yeah.
business because I have I've done such a good job of niching down my ideal client.
Yeah.
So much so that when I've been posting about this big project, big secret project, literally those people are the ones who are responding to my posts. And it makes
Yeah.
me so excited to see that I have identified them.
Mhm.
And then even further, their need. What need am I fulfilling?
Right.
How am I reaching them? That's working too. Like there's all of these things that are starting to pay off because I've done all the work of identifying that.
Mm.
But I haven't done like the after effect of, okay, now they've listened to the podcast. What next?
Yeah, how do I keep them?
Right.
Right. How do I help them? How does it
What
benefit them?
feeling do I want them to have while they're well, and my thing is very much like cozy. I'm not gonna come in here dressed up
Right.
and looking super professional. I
Yeah.
want it to feel like someone is truly just sitting down with us, their cup of coffee, tea, whatever in their hand. We're all
Yep.
sitting on the couch and we're hanging out and we're just laughing and talking and having a good time. That's a good start. I don't quite think I've gotten, like, to the beyond that. I love that and that's usually how it is. The advice comes up for whoever I'm reading, but it
Yeah.
works for me too. I think it's
Yep.
just
All
so
the time.
good. I love it. Where are we at? Oh my gosh, we've already gone over an hour, which is fine. This is such a good conversation anyways. A lot of swords and wand, and I think that's all, like, the mental energy going into shifting your business to a new location, a new
Mhm.
whatever. It does feel like it feels like a rebranding for you,
Yeah.
and it feels like a very positive rebranding. Like I said, very niche down
Mhm.
idea of what you want the experience to be for people, and
Yeah.
then, like, a lot of energy moving into that. So,
Mhm.
when you've been talking about, like, it's been lingering for a while because even
Yeah.
in September, you mentioned this and you brought it up.
Mhm.
I think the buildup has happened, and
Yeah.
your own confidence and what it can become has
Mm.
gotten to the point where it's about to burst open and just take over.
Yeah. I feel like it's been a lot of and talking about this, it's kinda coming to me that, like, it's like releasing fear around it
Yeah,
because I did a little, like, mini rebranding a couple of years ago where it wasn't just, like, massage, Reiki, that's the things I offer. Now it's more of like, yes, you can come in just for Reiki, but you're never gonna get just massage. It's more of like an integrated approach where you might
right,
get some sound healing, you might get some Reiki, so on and so forth. And so that's what's in my flyers that I put out in my brochures for my business. But in reality, I still have a lot of the same clients that I feel like are not open to that or have even flat out told me they don't want that.
right,
And instead of just letting them go and saying, "This is what I do, I can refer you out,"
right,
I've just, like, clung on to that and like, "Oh, okay, we don't have to do that," and, like,
right.
made myself small and shut that down and was operating in this place of fear of, like, even though this is what I do that rarely. I'm still doing what I did before.
I hate that realization.
It's like, "Dang."
Like, I would go out, we would go to parties or events or whatever, and Kyle has no problem, like, leaning into the delusional version of himself. "Oh, yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm a musician, I do this, this, this," like, he's
Right.
really good but also he's a performer where he can, like, build that up, And me, I'm like, "Yeah, I work a full-time job, I do this, but then I kinda do this on the side," and, like, I've
Yeah.
I've seen in myself where I start claiming that delusional part of me, and
Yeah.
it starts to become more of who I am. Like, at the
Mhm.
moment I let go of the fear around being recognized for that, I guess.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, yeah, I'm a tarot card reader, astrologer, a medium. I talk to dead people. Like, it's
Yeah.
no big deal when people ask
Right.
about it, and they're like, "That's so cool." And I go, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah.
We've been to parties where people are like, "Wait a second, you're a musician and you're a tarot card reader, astrologer, whatever. You guys are awesome." And I'm like,
Right.
like, it sounds cool, and I'm sitting here, like, on a Saturday, in my pajamas, not that cool. It's still very realistic.
Right, yeah.
You
But,
know?
yeah, if I met you at a party and I didn't know you and we've never
Right,
talked before, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm a tarot card reader and a medium, and my husband's a musician," I'd be like, "You have, like, this fantasy life. That's what I've
right.
always wanted." Like
Trust me, it is not. I still have the pile of clothes on my chair in the bedroom. I still have,
Right.
dishes in the sink. Going back to, like, it allowed me to claim that part of me, and I
Yeah,
think that's where you're at right now is that inability to claim it completely, really
yeah,
lean into it, and
yeah.
that's what this reading is permission for that because in order to move forward with everything else that you have planned for yourself,
Mhm,
you have to be that person, that version of you, and it's not that you're not that person now.
mhm.
It's I think, you've been, like, tiptoeing. It's like opening a door. You're like,
Mhm.
"Is it
Yeah,
safe? Is it safe?" And
yeah.
now it has to be like, "I don't care if it's safe or not, but this is who I am, and this is how I'm showing up in the world." And
Right.
that brings in so many other people. Being a Brené Brown fan, one of my favorite quotes of hers is, "Shame dies where people talk about things," or however she puts
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
And I think that's ultimately part of what I wanna do in this podcast as well, giving a voice to the fear and the self-doubt and the, "We should be doing this in our life, and instead we're here," and if I speak up about it, and it's kind of been a driving force in my life over the last few years. If I speak up about my struggles, if I
Mm.
speak up about my depression, or if I speak up about my weight loss issues or weight issues in general, someone else is going, "Oh, I'm not alone there."
Yeah.
That's a huge deal because I often look at online or wherever and I'm like, "God, they don't struggle with that." But
Mhm.
what I don't see is that they overcame whatever was holding them back
Right.
and finally decided they didn't want that anymore. And I think that's where
Mm.
you're at right now. I think there's so much that you don't recognize is within you that
Mhm.
it's like busting out of the seams at this point. You can't contain it anymore.
Yeah, it's getting to the point that I have this feeling of like, "Screw it, I'm just gonna do it, and if
Yes.
it flops, and I'll figure it out."
But I
Like
don't think it will. I feel like there's I feel like it opens up a whole new world for you
yeah.
because there are other women in your area who are waiting for you to appear in your
Mm,
full authentic self. They don't see anyone else who's like them,
mm.
so they haven't come forward for you yet.
And I hear that from clients sometimes that are new clients that someone referred word of mouth, and they'll be like, "I didn't know anybody else around here was like me. I didn't know anybody else around here was into the things I'm into and spirituality and energy healing and all these different things. I didn't know there was anybody. How have I not heard of you before?" And I'm just like,
Right.
"Well, I think that there's," and I hear that all the time, meaning there are a lot of people like us. It's just, I think the world that we live in this area, we are very quiet about, that old witch wound kinda thing.
Oh, hugely. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I'm gonna try to do one more card, I think. I'm trying to remember which one maybe 2. The Goddess deck and then the Wild Offering Oracle. The Goddess deck for me is just like this reminder that we are all like tapped into the goddess energy of some sort. And that sounds so woo-woo, but
But I think that's true though, yeah.
it is. It's mostly that it's just that feminine, divine feminine energy that we
Yeah,
do have. It's
very much
just
so.
been beaten out of us over centuries, almost literally sometimes. The
And
witch
even
wound, like
still,
you're talking about.
yeah. And in, like, today's speech, like, if you're talking negatively about someone, you call them a derogatory name that has to do with a woman. Even like this subliminal, like anything to do with a woman is bad.
Right. Yes, that happens all the time. I've noticed that. The card that came up for you is Ostara, fertility, but also it says, I love it. It is the perfect time for you to start new projects, assess new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. I don't think we could. I have video record of me shuffling and pulling that card.
Yes.
I don't think we could have planned that if we tried.
No. Well, and what's interesting is Ostara usually falls like March, April, and that the last few days is like what's been coming to me. Like that's when this is really going to like the winter is kind of a preparation. It's getting some things done. It's getting some contractors in here to get the space ready, things like that. And then when spring gets here, that's when it's really like the big move is happening.
Time. Yeah.
So that's so funny that like Ostara is what come up.
Jeez. That's why I love this work. I like
Yeah.
really, there's not one single reading where something doesn't pop out. I'm like, whoa, that was too scarily accurate. It's always so, I mean, it's just divine intervention in the reading
And
sometimes.
and the two, I think like working with guides and things, angels, guides, whatever term someone wants to use, like they are very blunt.
Incredibly.
They are, it comes across even as snarky sometimes, I think, because it's
Yes.
like, you're not getting it. I'm telling you, like, this
Yes.
is it, you know?
All the time. All the time.
And I'm like, okay, thanks, got it.
And I like this one too. It's a self-sufficiency. The ultimate self-sufficiency is relying on God or whatever higher power you have. It doesn't mean hiding in a cave and saying, I don't need people. Instead, it's saying, God is my source and I'm willing to receive all the help, love, and support that wants to come. So for me, this means you are not alone in this new creation journey that you have going on.
Yeah,
And your higher power spirit team, whatever,
yeah,
is totally right there next to you. And I feel like when going back to that, you and your partner kind of like you're missing each other in universe orchestrating the right time. That's how
hmm,
this feels. It's like, they're like, oh, you need a contractor here. Let me put one in your line of sight. Oh, you
right.
need this here. Let me put that person in front of you. And
Hmm.
I think they're right there beside you.
That's awesome.
100%. Any final thoughts?
No, I mean, I shouldn't be amazed, but I always am because it's like, it's always so on point when we talk. I think that as a reader, you're very talented, very gifted, but also I think too sometimes the energy just flows really well. And when you and your reader, your guide or your medium are on the same wavelength, it makes things flow so much easier.
Yes.
And I see that with clients too, the ones that are open to it, they want to know they're really ready for that growth. It's like it just flows so easy. And then the back and forth is so good.
Yeah, it makes things really it makes the reading easier for me when someone's totally open and willing to hear what's coming through.
Yeah. And I think that this podcast will be helpful for a lot of women from different walks of life. I can't wait to see the different guests you have. And so we can all just see that we're all imperfect. We're all trying to figure it out as we go. Like whether you're 20 or 60 or 80, we're still learning and growing and on the journey because if you're not learning and growing, well, then you're probably done with this world. So like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I have done a handful of episodes already, and I'm planning to have a few of them already released when I launch.
awesome.
But one of my biggest concerns was I don't want all the readings to be the same. I don't want
Right.
them to all be, oh, you're coming into something new in your life, and da, da, da. Like you're going to
Mhm.
meet someone. I don't ever do super shallow readings, anyways. So I
No,
don't know
yeah.
why that thought would come to my mind. But the varied topics that have come up so far are
Uh-huh.
so wide ranged. Like
Good.
I would not have been able, and that's what I like about this. I don't have to like study someone. I don't have to learn about them before and write interview questions, and the
Yeah.
conversation just comes out naturally, and what needs to be spoken about for that
Hmm.
person and what other people need to hear
Yeah.
just comes out.
Hmm.
And I think I think that's ultimately what I really needed in order to get a podcast going, because the thought's always been in my head.
Yeah.
I've always wanted a platform where I could just kinda interview people and talk and have conversation, but I
Hmm.
was always really worried that it was gonna be stagnant, and
Yeah.
is not stagnant. Like, this
Yeah.
is
No.
far from that.
Yeah.
So, I thank
Well,
you for
and
your inspiration in the whole project.
no, thank you for letting me be involved. It's super cool and inspiring for me too.
Love
So,
it. Yeah,
because I have a tendency to like, I even though I am very ADHD and free spirited, I also do like some structure. So if I'm teaching a class or if I were doing a podcast, like I would be so lost in the details, I think,
right.
of like making sure that every bullet point was hit and we talk about these things and you're supposed to keep it on target, keep it on task. But really and truly the best things are more organic and like whatever comes in is what is supposed to come in and whatever is talked about is supposed to be talked about. And so someone needed to hear it somewhere.
Yeah,
So
100%. Well, I told you this last reading because we had such great conversation, but I value your friendship and I
same.
value your support, and I am so grateful that our paths crossed because,
Me too.
I mean, truly, like, I get people that tell me I'm an inspiration in some ways, and I don't see it, but whatever. Like, it's just because I'm so loud on social media, but you have inspired me in a lot of ways, and I don't know that if I had to repay it, I don't know that I would be able to, and
Aw.
I don't think I've ever told you that. All right.
It's gonna be so great.
Well, I will let you get on with your day, but thank you again.
Okay, thank you.